Hi, and welcome to a speed paint. Today I'm going to be drawing Kokushibo and walking you through my whole art process of drawing it. First, this drawing is actually a card, like a digital version of a card that I've already made in the past. So this is the card that I ended up making. It was for an art assignment I had to do, and so I really liked it and how it looks, so I've decided to make a digital version of it. As you saw previously, I first blocked out the whole character and then I started doing darker sketches on top of a little lighter version of the sketch I'd already made. This is so I could easily see the changes I was making in the drawing. And so I could easily form more detail without forgetting to go over other parts of the drawing. One of the more difficult parts of this drawing was Kokushibo's eyes because I had to spend a little while making sure he wasn't cross-eyed because he has six eyes. I have to make sure that they were all going in the same direction. And there's a lot of detail in the eyes you'll see, especially when I'm doing the line art. There's a lot of detail in it. Another difficult part was the sword because the sword is actually in a form of perspective, which is why you'll see so many lines going on. And another big thing I do when I draw is I move a lot of things around to make sure they're proportioned correctly. Right there you saw I've moved out the canvas bigger so I could fit all of his hair on there. Um, the longest part of this was sketching and the coloring part. I actually do add a background, but that's not for a while. My least favorite part of this whole thing was doing the sword, simply because I didn't like drawing all of the eyes, but I knew I had to because it's, well, Kokushibo. This was about the time I started doing the line art. I finished doing the sketch because I was happy with it and satisfied with it. So I started sketching it, and the sketch was oddly smooth at the end of it. It wasn't quite as rugged as my sketch, but I was all right with it. And I can't remember if I remembered to flip the canvas at any point, and I don't think I did. And even if I did, you wouldn't have seen it in the Procreate time lapse. I don't know why it doesn't show that. But I do know that the lining definitely did not take as long as me sketching because it's pretty easy to do line art, even though I don't like doing it. But the coloring part was pretty fun. I don't think it's gonna start soon, but it's gonna start in just a second. I did have to color some of it without my stylus because I forgot where I put it. But it doesn't use a sword. I colored with most of my finger. But here's the part where I started doing the skin tone, and I think I changed the background to gray somewhere along the way. And I do know I changed the colors of the line art quite a bit because it just flows a little bit easier. And at the end of it, I'll change the outline from him to white to make him pop a little bit more. But while I was doing that, it was really hard because I had to erase a lot and it was really just tedious, but that's kind of with every single drawing. But I do love rendering. I loved rendering his skin and his kimono. It was one of my favorites. But getting that texture right there was the biggest pain you wouldn't believe. But this was the point where I had forgotten where I put my stylus, and I had to draw most of this with my finger, which was also the biggest pain. But it was all right because it ended up looking pretty good to begin with, but I did not like having to render each of those individual eyes. It was kind of a pain, but it was kind of worth all of the trouble because it turned out looking amazing. And this was the part where I started the hair because I forgot his highlights and I knew that I kind of needed to add those in right now. This was it was a really quick part. I don't know why I was putting it off so much, but it turned out looking pretty decent. I might have been able to put more effort in it, but I ended up not. But this is the part where I finished coloring it and I changed his outline to white so I could start the background. And I spent forever getting that moon shape just right, but it was really fun and I did all of the layers, and I'll have to do a whole tutorial on how to get that glowing effect because I have a lot of other drawings where it's a really cool glowing effect. And yeah, that's it. Bye.